The Mariana Trench is one of the deepest places on Earth, deeper than the thoughts of Nelson Mandela and the poetry of Percy Shelley combined. But if something is deep, things can hide inside, and the things lurking in the depths of that trench are absolutely terrifying, from an ancient vessel to giant amoebas. Welcome to a new video. These are 15 of the scariest things found in the Mariana Trench. If you like this kind of content, subscribe to our channel. It's free. Now let's get started. Number 15. The USS Johnston. This is the deepest shipwreck in the world. The USS Johnston was involved in a massive naval battle in a gulf in the Philippine Sea in October 1944. 300 American warships and 70 Japanese vessels fought, and 1,500 aircraft were involved. As I said, this was quite a massive battle. Nearly 30 of the Japanese ships were sunk during the fight, and most of the others were so badly damaged they were put out of action, including the largest battleship ever built, the Yamato. However, several American ships were sunk during the fierce fighting, including the destroyer USS Johnston, which had been hit by shellfire from the Yamato but managed to survive. It fought for another 2 hours before finally sinking beneath the waves, taking the lives of 186 of its 327 crew members. The ship was not seen again until 75 years later, when it was sighted near the island of Samar in the Philippines. This island is called Samar, and is located along a massive sea canyon called the Philippine Trench, which is extremely deep. In fact, to get an idea of how deep it is, just imagine placing Mount Everest below the surface at its deepest point. In that case, the mountaintop would still be a full mile beneath that surface. The trench is up to 6.2 miles deep, and the Titanic, by comparison, is roughly 2 miles below. On an underwater expedition, they found John, and the front 2/3 of the ship were still intact, with the ship number clearly visible. The ship rested 3.7 miles deep. Number 14. A special ship. What was captured in the Mariana Trench will shock the entire world if the stories circulating online, which insist that a crashed alien spacecraft was found in the Mariana Trench, are to be believed. This image is an artist's recreation of what they claim was discovered. Marine biologists investigate the trench all the time and find peculiar things more often than you might think. Then, one day, a man claimed to be one of these biologists and posted on Reddit saying they had found a crashed UFO, describing it in great detail. But interestingly, shortly after his post, he disappeared, leading people to believe his claims were true and that someone was working to cover them up. What are your thoughts on this? As always, you can leave me a comment and tell me what you think about what you just saw on screen. Number 13. Pingpong tree sponge. The depths of the sea are full of creepy and strange-looking fish, ancient shipwrecks, very dark and mysterious places. But did you know there were even scary trees? Well, I didn't know, but apparently there are. This is the ping-pong sponge tree. It got this name because it basically looks like a tree covered in ping-pong balls. It sounds harmless enough, but it's really not. It's actually a carnivorous sponge that feeds on the tree. It grows to about 50 centimeters tall, and most of its food is found on its thin stem. At the top, there are lots of strange globules or ping-pong balls growing out in all directions. They might look delicate and a bit mind-blowing, but these things are deadly. They're covered in tiny things called spicules that are shaped like hooks and trap any tiny creature that brushes against them. In general, sponges slowly digest their prey, molecule by molecule. What a horror show! Number 12. The baleen whale. When a creature dies at sea, a huge natural marine cleanup crew is set in motion. Many ocean inhabitants will flock to the carcass for days. The body of a baleen whale becomes a feast for thousands of other small sea creatures, and it's all rather grim. But then again, that's nature, and it's a cutthroat business to stay alive. Baleen whales are actually several different species of whale, including humpback whales, blue whales, and fin whales, and they get the name baleens because of the way they feed. They eat everything. Baleen whales take in large amounts of water with their food and then expel it through their mouths, holding the prey in while pushing the water back out. They dive to depths of approximately 200 m to feed. These huge mammals are adaptable and will also eat other fish when large numbers are available. They have a brilliant technique for rounding up a school of fish. Baleen whales swim in circles around schooling fish, crowding them together. They approach, forming an easy-to-eat package that they can then catch in their mouths. Well, this is very interesting indeed. Let's see what happens next. Number 11. Dumbo octopus. These octopuses live in the darkest, deepest parts of the ocean, the deepest of any known octopus species. In fact, they're 13,100 feet deep, meaning these animals are adapted to living in very cold waters without sunlight. The rare Dumbo octopus also has some unusual behaviors that help it find a mate and reproduce successfully when options are limited, and there are very few species, so you have to get creative. You see, it's a little gross, but you'll be fine. The female Dumbo octopus basically carries a variety of eggs at different stages of development, so when she encounters a male, she chooses the ones that suit her best. Males like to store sperm. You never know when they might find another single male a mile or more away in the dark, so they have the unique ability to store this sperm for long periods of time after mating. This means that, provided they have optimal conditions for making babies, the female Dumbo octopus can use stored sperm with the most appropriately developed eggs, thus ensuring the best chance of successful reproduction. It's truly a kind of empowerment. Number 10. Marine hatchet fish. Well, it's obvious where it gets its name. Now, isn't it obvious that the hatchet fish captured the imaginative name of experts in deep-sea fish research? Be that as it may, it's a member of a ridiculously unpronounceable family of deep-sea fish. There are about 45 different species within this particular family. They range in size from about 6 inches to 12 inches in size. They also have the bioluminescence ability that many deep-sea dwellers have. They use it to create a backlight that helps them escape stalking predators so that they don't appear darker if viewed from below. Apparently, they're quite intelligent to people who know the world of hatchet fish. There's also a freshwater species of hatchet fish, and these are the ones people usually keep in their home aquariums, not the exciting deep-sea fish shaped like a dangerous hatchet blade. I mean, who would have thought? Isn't this a thrill ride from the nightmare fish we've never encountered? It's so much fun. Number 9. Comb jellyfish. These are comb jellies. They've allowed scientists to closely observe the evolutionary path of other animals, including humans. It's strange, but this strange species is only loosely related to humans. These comb jellies can help researchers study the evolution of neurons and neural pathways. Neurons are cells in the nervous system that transmit electrical impulses and allow communication between organs and systems in the body. Neural pathways are the channels through which neurons transmit electrical impulses. Neurons don't have brains, but their nerve cells are connected to each other throughout their bodies like a network. Although they may look like jellyfish, they are actually not related. These two different species have taken extremely different evolutionary paths. There's a strange phenomenon happening with these comb jellies right now. Climate change is causing survival problems for many species, and these things seem to be thriving, causing large blooms in some spaces, and causing these creatures to dominate an area and quickly kill off other diverse organisms. These things could soon take over our oceans. Number 8. Black Sea Devilfish. Next up, we have a creepy marine inhabitant, the Black Sea Devil. Sounds friendly, I know, but what's the big deal? Well, let's take a look at the animal's teeth. These fish have a round, gelatinous body that's mostly scale-free and a huge head with a bunch of long, very sharp, fang-like teeth. Some of them even have spines on their bodies. Do you know why they were scary yet? For starters, they're a type of anglerfish, which means they live in deep water, mostly near the seafloor. So they're among those strange creatures that have their own source of luminescence, which they use in the strange, fleshy thing hanging from the top of their heads. This thing is their lure, which they use to attract their prey, like a fisherman with a line. You see, anglerfish are very efficient hunters. Not only do they have a bunch of extremely nasty, sharp, pointy teeth, but they also have absolutely gigantic mouths. The anglerfish's enormous mouth extends around the entire circumference of its head and can reach such a colossal width that these terrifying sea inhabitants can swallow prey twice their size. Number 7. Barily. Now this fish looks very strange, and it seems the deeper we delve into the world's oceans, the stranger it gets. Sea creatures morph, and the Barily is one of those oddities equipped for a starring role in a science fiction film. The Barily has a transparent, domed head with highly sensitive, tube-like eyes, covered by a beautiful shield filled with green fluid. This feature helps it detect prey above its head, even in the total darkness of the deepest oceans. They also have a pair of nostrils that look like sad eyes and a pointed snout with a small mouth. They have flat, elongated fins for moving through the water using a swishing motion. In addition, their bodies contain a selection of luminous organs that give the fish an otherworldly glow. While the fish isn't an oil painting, it's hard to argue that it isn't well adapted to its deep-sea habitat. This may be one of the best-equipped fish for living down there. While other deep-sea animals have lost their sight, the fish has refined its vision to work even in dim light, which definitely gives it an advantage in the category of searching for and feeding on prey, and perhaps also in innovative predation. Number 6. Snailfish. Next up, we have a creature that also goes by the name of the impossible fish. I know that doesn't mean it's a vegan substitute, like a hamburger, but rather that it's impossible because, strangely, it seems to be able to live at depths where it should never be able to survive or thrive. Snailfish scientists had been under the impression that the fish couldn't live below 8,200 m. They thought it was simply physiologically impossible, but then some researchers from Japan and Australia discovered a snailfish living at 8,336 m in the Mariana Trench, breaking all previous records. These fish look strange, but they usually live in the dark, where nothing else is, so what do they really care? Number 5. Ofid. We have another contender for the deepest living fish in the world, the cusk eel, which lives in very deep waters. In fact, these bony fish are called eels because of their appearance, but they actually belong to the same taxonomic group as tuna, perch, and seahorses. They've been around since the late Cretaceous period, and fossils of cusk eels have been found since then, so they're pretty well adapted to life in deep waters, where they prefer to live. It inhabits temperate and tropical waters all over the world and is found near the seafloor. A species of cusk eel with an unpronounceable Latin name has been recorded at the bottom of the Puerto Rico Trench, supposedly at 8,370 m, 27,800 feet, which is bad news for the snailfish, which breaks its record again by 34 m, 111 feet. Number 4. The supergiant amphipod. Could you look at the size of these things? There's nothing like a massive crust to give your nightmares a new depth of flavor while investigating a deep-sea trench. Scientists heightened their own nightmares when they sent traps into the deepest depths to sample what was going on there. Previously, they had only seen faint relatives of these giant amphipods and were certainly unused to the monstrous scale of the sea. In fact, these large animals are more than 20 times larger than their regular relatives. Scientists were so shocked by the presence of these strange creatures that they simply couldn't fathom what the heck they were doing in that particular place. But that's the problem now, isn't it? That's essentially what makes all these sea creatures that little bit scarier. We know so little about them, even about where we might find them. The world is covered in water, and yet what lies beneath is It remains almost a mystery to us land-loving humans, and that kind of puts you off paddling, doesn't it? Number 3. Goblin shark. The deep-sea dwelling goblin shark is a horrifying, nightmarish combination of a terrifying alien face and a squashed dinosaur shark. It's actually quite hideous, but we shouldn't judge something by its appearance. I know it's not fair, but are they as terrifying as they look? Well, let's find out. With a long snout on top and a set of very sharp teeth on the bottom, this shark looks like it's well equipped to hunt, and it has a strange technique for catching its prey. The goblin shark can eject its jaws and then send out a dangerous snapping motion to snag passing prey, and it will simply reel its jaws in and eat the catch. This long-nosed shark is, thankfully, much lazier than many of the other sharks. Its sluggish demeanor means it's not likely to expend much energy in a high-speed chase, and if you take a look at this strange fish, you'll no doubt be able to outswim them just out of fear, so glad it's over. These animals give me the creeps. Number 2. Mysterious metallic sound. When scientists first heard a strange, never-before-heard noise coming from the depths of the Mariana Trench, they were a little scared. Well, a little scared, because scientists are like that. The 3.5-second recording was a sort of eerie metallic noise captured in 2016 by an autonomous vehicle roaming the ultra-deep waters of the Mariana Trench. It's a low-frequency whine, usually associated with baleen whales, but this particular sound had never been heard by humans before. The sound has been nicknamed the Western Pacific and has been attributed to the whale Balanoptera bonarensis, as it is an unusual sound. Although scientists had not heard it before, they have now managed to isolate it and determine that it is a whale call. This is not the first time that a strange sound has been recorded under the sea. Other strange noises have caused all sorts of speculation over the years. In 1997, the United States National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, detected a high-amplitude, ultra-low frequency sound under the sea. It was a sound so powerful that it could be heard at a distance of more than 3,200 kilometers. At the time, the source of the sound was a complete mystery to NOAA researchers, who named it the bloop, and began a decades-long investigation into the unexplained noise. At first, they theorized that the sound could have been produced by some kind of marine animal, although, frankly, such a loud sound would have to have originated from a creature the size of an island, so it was a little alarming to say the least. This fun idea was then replaced by the much more boring one they stick with today. The bloop was the result of glacial movements or the collision of a large iceberg somewhere far away. Can you imagine this mysterious sound? Do you have any fun conspiracy theories to add to the mix? Let me know in the comments. Number 1. Giant amoebas. In 2011, scientists discovered some creepy giant amoebae deep within the Mariana Trench on a trip to the Pacific Ocean. Researchers used all sorts of new technology to explore these previously unrecorded areas of the deep sea. They found the deepest xenotrenches and the single-celled organisms we commonly call amoebae. These were unusual compared to other amoebae because they were so large. Some specimens were over 4 inches long, which is surprising for a single-celled organism, since these have only one cell. Scientists declared that these are the largest single cells in existence anywhere, at least that's what they know for now. They were found at depths of up to 6.6 miles, 10.6 kilometers, below the surface within the Mariana Trench, part of the Mariana Trench. Before this discovery, they had only been found at 4.7 miles, 7.6 kilometers. There's still so much to discover, and it remains a mystery, but what can they discover next? We've reached the end of this video. Tell us what you think in the comments section. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like, subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell so you don't miss out on future videos like this one. See you next time.